Thank you, Ruby. Love that song. Who says, right? Who said that? Who told us that? So, I don't know if you've noticed, but authenticity seems to be quite the buzzword these days, right? We see it and hear it everywhere. It's on the news, it's on social media, it's in conversations, and it seems like people are taking great stock in their lives and their priorities and want to learn more about what it means to be authentic. Thing. But the thing is that there's a lot of things that it carries with that, right? So no matter where we are in our lives, if we want to take stock into that, let's just dig into this a little more. So we know the basic definition of the word. Authenticity means that you're true to your own personality, values, and spirit, regardless of the pressure that you're under to act otherwise. You're honest with yourself, and your values, ideals, and actions align. But knowing what authenticity means and actually living authentically are two totally different things, especially in a world that constantly pressures us to be something other than who we really are. And there are a lot of examples of people out there who just couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't live up to these standards of other people. So I want to tell you about a couple of people who did just that. Instead of living into that inauthentic self, they rallied against those forces in order to live into their authentic self. So the first person is a man who was a college football star. He went on to be an Olympic athlete. He was an actor, a husband, and a father. But for most of his life, underneath, he felt like he was born into the wrong body. And so at age 65, Bruce Jenner came out to the world as Caitlyn Jenner. And I'm sure most of us could only imagine the complexities, to say the least, that coming into her true, authentic self carried with it. But it is often in overcoming extreme adversity that we learn to live into our true, authentic self. The next story is a man who was born in St. Simons, Georgia in 1870. He was the son of slaves. He had a half-German stepfather whose relatives eventually joined the Third Reich. And throughout his life, since he grew up in the post-Civil War landscape, he experienced racial injustices at every turn. But he knew that his voice and the voice of other Black people deeply mattered. So despite his challenging upbringing, he was able to go on to law school. He had several different careers. And in 1905, he founded the Chicago Defender newspaper. That man was Robert Abbott. Now, the paper was designed to give African Americans a voice and also to encourage them to leave from the Jim Crow South. And initially, the paper was banned in the South, which is the one place that he wanted to have the most impact. But Robert Abbott persevered because to him, living authentically meant allowing everyone to have a seat at the table. So he persevered, and the Chicago Defender went on to become one of the most important Black newspapers in history. It is still in publication today, this year celebrating its 118th anniversary. And those are just two examples of people who have denied the outside forces in order to live into what felt authentic to them. But unfortunately, a lot of us are still swimming in that quicksand of, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not young enough or old enough, and are allowing those forces to come in and slowly chip away at the beautiful gems we were born to be. And you might be one of those people who has done a lot of work around this and feel like you really are living into your authentic self. But will we ever really master it? I don't know about that. And maybe there's no such thing. Maybe it's just a matter of making it a daily practice, like our spiritual practice, a muscle that needs to be exercised on a regular basis so it doesn't turn to flab and heaviness that weighs us down. So no matter where you may be on that continuum, I have 7 steps for you today to help you live more into your authentic self, to move from the fringes, living on the fringes of your life, to living boldly and unapologetically with courage, confidence, and a sense of adventure. So here we go. Step number 1, start where you are. Start where you are. And by that I mean, take a look at where you may be changing your thinking or adjusting your activities or moving around other people or situations because somebody else said that you should or that you have to, or because you just want to fit in. And don't beat yourself up about it. Just notice how you're showing up on a regular basis. Step number 2, perform a self-inquiry. Perform a self-inquiry. For everything we do, there is a reason. So if you are allowing other people to come in and dictate who or what you should be in this world, ask yourself, why? What are the benefits to you living small? Who is it serving? I need this? Okay. Who is it serving? Are we off altogether? Yeah. We're adjusting? All right. There we go. Are we on? Okay. So now I feel like I'm double drinking here. Who are you serving, right? By hiding your light. What are you missing out on by not living authentically? And probably the most important question you want to ask is the pain great enough yet that it makes you want to change? Best-selling author Elizabeth Gilbert said, "Suffering without catharsis is nothing but wasted pain." Let me say that again. Suffering without catharsis is nothing but wasted pain. Step number 3, stand in your dominion. Stand in your dominion. And one of the ways you can do this is by saying, I am affirmations or statements. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am worthy. I am unstoppable. I am growing and changing. I am doing my best today. I am living my best life ever. I am all that in 3 bags of chips. Stand in your dominion. The Buddha said, we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. So what are you thinking about yourself? Step number 4, acknowledge the benefits of living authentically. Acknowledge the benefits of living authentically. When you choose to live boldly and unapologetically, the world opens up to you. Just by being your authentic self, you automatically make a positive impact in the world. When you choose to move from the darkness into the light, you show the love that you have and the love that you are in this world. Step number 5, This is my favorite one. Talk to the hand. And do it with a little sassiness. Talk to the hand. And by that I mean ignore the naysayers. They are dealing with their own hurts and can't even see their own light yet. So they're unable to see yours or to support yours. Now, this is not an easy step, especially if the naysayers are some of the people that are closest to you, like sometimes the people in your family. But it's important to remember that all relationships are only ever two people. It doesn't matter if it's you and a partner, you and a parent, you and a child, your friend, a neighbor, your boss. There's only ever two people in it. And we all have a dance that we do with the people in our lives. This is how we communicate. This is how we deal with each other. This is how it's always been done. And for better or worse, both of you have decided on it. But if it's not working for you, you might have to do this. And the other person might say, hold on a second, this is how we do it. This is how we communicate. You just can't go change things up. But if you're not being authentic in that relationship, come up with a new step. You may get a lot of resistance from that other person, but that is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to live in what you feel is true for you. They may eventually come around, and maybe not, but you have to be you anyway. Brené Brown said, authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. It's about the choice to show up and be real, the choice to be honest, the choice to let our true selves be seen. To be authentic, we must cultivate the courage to be imperfect and vulnerable. We have to believe that we are fundamentally worthy of love and acceptance just as we are. Step number 6, align with your supporters. Align with your supporters. If you don't have anyone in your life to support you, go and find someone. Here at Unity San Francisco, there's a whole community of people who are willing and able to love and accept you just the way you are. And like Tyler said earlier, their mission statement is unapologetically inclusive. And that means just by virtue of you walking in the room or logging in online, you are loved and valued for who you are. So if you need to, create a new circle of friends or extended family members. You and you alone are in charge of the people with whom you associate. And finally, step number 7, no more apologies. No more apologies. Stand firm in the truth of who you are and be you anyway. So I have one more story about someone who was able to dramatically change the trajectory of their life once they learned to live into their authentic self. And this was a woman who, like most of us, had good family support, had a good spiritual community around her, had a fulfilling career, was healthy. She had her challenges just like everybody else. But there was one period of time in her life where she had several things happen in a string in a row. One after the next, after the next, after the next. Bam, 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 bam. And life got really dark. And unfortunately, she was just unable to grasp onto any of that support that she had around her. And she decided that she was done. She was going to check out of this life experience. She thought that everyone would be better off without her. There was no reason for her to stay here. And she was done. Fortunately, she didn't do it, and she went and got help. And in that therapy recovery process, she learned that she had to be vulnerable and take a good, hard look at some of her beliefs, not just about things, but about herself, and how she had been playing small to please others and make them feel comfortable with her. But in the process, she wasn't living authentically at all. She had to learn to stop trying to do everything perfectly and to not show her flaws, and that the only person that had to be comfortable with her was her. Because for the first 50 plus years of her life, she had been robbing herself of a vibrant life worth living. And that person was me. Thank you. The easiest thing to be in the world is you. The most difficult thing to be is what other people want you to be. Don't let them put you in that position. So as Ruby starts to make her way up to the stage here, I'll close by saying this. When you own your story, embrace who you are, and live life on your own terms, anything is possible. Is it going to be easy? Sometimes yes, and a lot of times no. But the freedom that comes with it is immeasurable. You will never live up to everyone else's expectations, ever. So once you understand that, and choose to live your life authentically, boldly, and unapologetically, everything changes. Authenticity is the key to living the life of your dreams. So be yourself. You are more than you know.